Hello, listeners. Thank you for checking out Our Yard Podcast today. This is episode 25. I don't know how we made it here, but now I can vote or even go to a casino. We are fucking around today with your co host, Swaggy T, and Mr. Ye Old Hogmaster. And today we got our special guest, as usual, on these even years as of late, is Mr. That's Kenny.
Mr. Even Kenny, dog. What's up, poppin'?
That's right. It don't matter how even we are, we're always odd. That
I'm
being
always up
said, we're going to
poppin'.
go. That's right. We're going to go straight into this episode right quick. Go ahead and hit us with that bullshit.
God damn.
All right. So, on today's episode, as previously stated, we are going to be talking about 1998 and each of our three favorite albums that came out that year. And if any of them didn't make the cut, we will do a quick shout out at the end of this video. There may be an intermission, depending on how long we run. But with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and slide it on over to Ye Old Hogmaster with his first album of 1998.
Ricola. Let me get this shit. Let's get this shit
Oh, yeah.
bumping real quick. All right. So the format we was gonna do 5. Now we're gonna do 3. So now I'm like having to take these out.
It's my fault.
We're gonna have to no, it's all good. You know what? Dude, I went back and heard an album I haven't listened to in like I don't know, probably 2. Well, yeah, it's probably been 2 years since I listened to it. And like I went through a moment, like I went through a time where I was listening to it, and I was like, damn, this shit's banging. And like it started coming back to me. I'm like, damn, this shit's good. But now I'm like, look, I gotta make a call. So with the sad boy in me, I have to go the pick. Motherfucking high mileage from Alan Jackson. It's your boy, brother. You better get your guy. I'm gonna tell you something. This might be my favorite Alan Jackson album, just because it's his saddest.
So it's good. It's
I
good. Just like lay and do nothing all day. Listen to music. Lay
Oh
on the
yeah,
ground, under the ground type music. Like just
yeah,
lay.
That's right.
yeah.
Okay.
Bury yourself and cry kind of shit.
Is it like?
Like
Go ahead.
no, I'm not. Hell, I was running conduit and setting boxes today, fucking crying and shit. Listening to damn
Hell yeah.
Alan Jackson. It was like, dude, like this album. Okay, so I just gotta go with like this album. The reason I'll give you the backstory, Kenny. Well, Trevor probably doesn't know it either, but the reason this album is so sad, like as sad as it is because like his wife left him. Goddamn. Because now this is the plot twist. Is because it was his fault. He was cheating on her, so he got
Well,
caught cheating, and then he was like, "God damn, why are you leaving me?"
in the rap
And then,
community, this would be you could just flex in this point. So I'm
yeah,
intrigued at how the roads would differ. Okay.
yeah.
All right. You got my attention.
But he was like, so pretty much it's like, I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit, you know. But
Oh
I
yeah, I feel
mean,
that.
dude, I mean, I get it that he was, obviously he's like, damn, I cheated on my wife, like I shouldn't have done that. Because like you gotta think like Alan Jackson, like in the '90s, dude, there wasn't too few many people that were more popular than him. And like,
Right.
I'm sure that all that fame coming to him at once, like I guess he got caught up in the whirlwind of everything.
Oh yeah, man. Money, hoes, and clothes, dog.
Yeah, like not look, and I'm not justifying cheating on your spouse. I don't think that's right. I'm just saying, like, I think like that's what he has said.
No,
And
I mean,
if you
neither do I. It's just like the reality of the situation is, yeah, like that's
like
what
he
a
got
lot of people
lost
are
in the
put in that
sauce.
situation. Yeah, I mean,
And like
it might, it's. I think you can give an explanation for things and not, say you support it. It's I definitely don't want to get. I don't want to anger women within the first 5 minute mark. We wait until the 15-minute mark at least for that.
that's right. But dude, like this album is just and like yeah, like obviously he's going through it, but like, obviously he got caught, and then she was like, she left him, like took their daughters, and they came back, and like they had, dude, it was like a whole big ordeal, and he was by himself for like 6, 8 months or some shit, like, and he wrote this album, and dude, it is, I'm telling you, like, it's some of the saddest fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
this is that. This is that.
and I
Like,
know it's technically self-induced,
mhm.
to a point, but he like, obviously he quit drinking, and then he got sober, and then he did right by his wife, and like they're still together, so like everything, worked out, I guess. But
That's a rare
my
happy
God,
story.
dude.
Um, um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to get my heart broken like that and make an album because I feel like I make a really dope album if that,
Oh yeah.
those circumstances were there.
Heartbreak always releases just all these like, wow, I didn't know I was as creative.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off this. All right, never mind. I'm just gonna make this album.
That's
Like,
right.
so the first song on the album is like, it's called "Right on the Money." It was a big hit. It wasn't like it was just a country song, It wasn't a. There's a few of these songs that weren't, they were just country, like they weren't just necessarily heartbreak, but it was either like just a straightforward country song, or it was the most like gut wrenching, tear jerking song you ever heard. Like the second
Oh
song is
yeah,
called "Gone Crazy," which is might be my favorite Alan Jackson. And dude, that shit, like, it hurts. Like, I don't know how else to explain that song, but like listening to him sing it, just like everything sounds hollow, like the recording sounds hollow.
and you feel like you're in the room
It's,
type deal. Like it's like he's
yeah,
like sit. I know those albums like that where it's just like it feels so personal.
yeah, like it
That's
hurts.
cool.
I'm like, gosh damn, dude.
You
And then
you
you
feel bad
got,
for him that he cheated. Like, why'd she leave you?
yeah, it's like, damn, son. It's like, what happens? Like, I cheated on her, but maybe she'll come back. It's like that bitch.
This is that. Damn, I fucked up music.
That's
Pretty much.
Well,
but
shit. Dot dot dot. The album.
then there was
Hell yeah.
there was like another, like, really, I guess the other song that wasn't, it was a big hit, like the first three songs on the album were on the radio, like "Right on the Money," "Gone Crazy," and then "Little Man." I think everybody's heard "Little Man." It's like, and there goes the little man.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about like, just like the small town life. You know what I'm saying? Like the small
Yeah.
businesses and stuff. Yeah, that's all that's about.
Yeah.
And then it comes into the hurting. You got "What a Day Yesterday Was,"
Oh
which
god.
just, it sounds like a bomb getting dropped. Hurting comes easy.
Oh god.
That's a tough one. I'll go on
That's
loving
what we
you.
call sad core, brother.
I'm telling
Dog.
you, and
It's
it's
like
not
Lil
even
Peep, ain't it?
worse. It's like, hey, we still got more, because you have "I'll Go On Loving You," which is
Oh.
one of the hardest, like one of the saddest fucking songs. He's just talking
It's
about his
just
wife, and then there's "Another Good Reason," "A Woman's Love," "Dancing All Around It." Like, he's just living in the memories, brother. It's like,
that
it's
man
tough.
sank.
And then the last song on the album is "Amarillo," and you're like, oh, that can't be too bad. No, brother, it might be the worst one. Like, it's fucking.
Um
You think it's gonna be
What a way
Amarillo
to
like
sounds
close an
familiar.
album.
the what?
You
Damn.
might be thinking of Amarillo by Morning by George Strait, but
Probably.
No,
I'm sure. Pretty much positive I am. I don't see how the album could take me to that point that I'm thinking of when
yeah.
y'all are just okay. All right. Yeah. Heard.
Amarillo by Morning. Yeah, that song. That's
Yeah.
old
Amarillo
George
by
Strait.
morning, up from San Antonio.
His
Like,
biggest hit that never hit number one, but this ain't
Yeah,
about George
that's
Strait.
a
this
fun
ain't.
fact for you, Kenny, about George Strait is his two biggest hits, "Amarillo by Morning" and "The Fireman." They were neither one of both of them only hit number two. They didn't hit number one out of his
I
Well,
don't
singles.
know.
Lil Wayne's
All my
Fireman hit
exes
number
live
one.
in Texas was a pretty big fucking hit too, but I think everybody covered that song.
What song?
Well,
All my exes live in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Oh my! Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that wasn't. Hell, you're right. That wasn't a hit. That wasn't a number one either. So
What was number
Wow.
one then? What the fuck was number one when this
yeah,
was
that's
out?
what I'm saying. Like it's crazy. Like all his other
Um,
shit was damn number one. Like
It all goes back to George Strait.
Oh yeah, so Tim McGraw. What the fuck is Tim McGraw Pac doing? What Tim McGraw Shakur doing in the 1998 right now?
he was banging
Oh
Faith
man,
Hill. He didn't.
dominating the year. Oh no, he's just okay. Heard. I mean, he just
He didn't drop an album in '98. Now he
oh,
He's
dropped
just
a
hanging out.
banger. He dropped a banger in '97. I talked about, and then
word.
he dropped an absolute heater in '99, which I will talk about that one too. So Tim McGraw's right there. He just didn't do anything in '98.
Now,
I
see
mean,
what y'all
still,
didn't
man.
know is Tim McGraw was actively ruining Michael Ower's life at that point, just so he could actually be in, the fucking Blind Side. So, like, Michael Ower could actually have like a story worth putting to fucking cinema, and
We're not
that's
supposed
what
to talk
Tim
about
McGraw
that.
was doing at the
We're not supposed to talk about that.
time. If
Sandra
I come
Bullock was
up
never
dead,
here,
you know I was right.
bro. I mean, that's a whole thing, and it's nice for people to give people opportunities, but it's really bad for them to exploit those opportunities. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
Very fair.
Um, you know,
but no, that was.
Memphis is bad.
I mean, that whole album just, like I said, it's with
It
the
rips your heart
tearjerker.
out, throws it in the street, and then makes you put it back in yourself.
Oh yeah, like
That's pretty
dude, I'm
much it.
telling you, it's rough. Like you definitely, it helps to be, you know, like you can listen to it really anytime, but like if you're like going through a breakup or something, and like unless you don't want to go into a hole, you probably don't want to listen to it at that point. But
I mean, you might. Sometimes it's good to go in to the abyss.
yeah, like sometimes it's all right. Sometimes you need the abyss, but that I mean, overall, I had to give this album. I had to give High Mileage. It's one. It might be my favorite Alan Jackson album, if not second. I mean, I'd say I'd have to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
That's
I mean,
fair.
like it's really good. Like I said, I know it's a lot of it is sad. Like 80% of it's sad, but my God, dude, it is like it's so. I don't know. It's very well written, which I know it's like pain and shit from Alan Jackson, but man, it's so good. Like I don't know. I love it. I mean, I recommend it.
Okay, so for your swoops and dupes out here, is this comparable to Lil Peep? How sad?
God damn, brother. We ain't done
Pretty close.
All right.
Well, given the fact,
How did this album affect LeBron James' legacy?
well,
LeBron James was probably hooping on somebody in '98. That's all I know.
I mean, LeBron probably he was 13 when this album came out. I'm sure he was cheating on his wife in middle school. She called him.
Got out of his system early, I guess.
Matter of fact, he did because I saw
Sitting on
I saw the
Quakers.
Peacock biography. Yeah, he cheated on her. Per
Hold on a second. We gotta go.
I
Hold
mean,
on. We're about to be rich, boys.
hey, per Woj,
Get my chair.
LeBron James cheated on his girlfriend. Cheated on his wife in 8th grade. And he listened to Alan
Jesus.
Jackson High Mileage.
Piece of shit. Like,
That's how it
I
infected.
beat his ass.
As far as Lil
I-
Peep, I don't listen. I listened to Lil Peep when I was in a depressed mode,
okay. So it's
a depressed state. I don't know. I mean, Lil Peep does hurt. I guess like it's hard for me to go back and listen to Lil Peep as much anymore as I did in 2018.
it was a time in life where
It really was like, and I mean, I
oh,
like Lil Peep. It's just like it's kind of to me, it don't hit the same. Like Lil Peep doesn't hit the same when you're happy in life, or content in life.
Because I just be
Like
listening to Lil
now,
Peep smiling, driving down the
but
road.
see, yeah, but see, like Alan Jackson, like with high mileage, you can listen to it. Honestly, I mean, I've been to enough heartbreaks and shit that like I just pick it out. Like I
Yeah,
got five, I got six ex-wives, so I mean, like I can pick the shit out. Which one it reminds me of, and it's
there
just
you
like
go.
you just gotta go through it.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you just gotta relate to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I told Trevor like I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's a really good album. Fuck it, I'll give it an 8.
Or
Fuck it, wait, we're
um,
not doing halvesies. We're going full.
yeah, I like the commitment.
Dude, it is like it's really like as far as the country, it's like I said, like it's a very well written album. I know it's in a dark place, but it's so like it's dark.
I enjoy the dark music.
Yeah, like it's dark, but it's very like it just the story is beautiful, really. Like it's horrible, but it's beautiful at the same time. Is the best way I can explain it. It's like, you know,
Cathartic maybe would be a good word.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It can be cathartic.
It gives
I
you
like
like a
Fix the Marriage,
release.
man.
If
This
you're,
album
if you're
Fix the
sad,
Marriage.
it's a
You guys
good
fix
kind
it.
of
You remember
release
that, man?
album.
He had sat in there for 6 months and probably consumed a whole fuel tanker full of whiskey, and he made it. He got through it.
Yeah.
That's how you
um,
do it.
and that's how you. And yeah, kids out there listening in the future, that's what you do.
But anyways, we'll go on to the next one. We'll go to Trevor's.
Sounds
Fantastic.
good. We're going to take a bit of a left turn here as far as like what the rest of these album genres are probably going to be, and we're going to cover my first favorite band I ever had in my life. Um, this was their debut album, and by all accounts, one of the best debut albums, especially in metal, as far as that goes. And of course, I'm talking about System of a Down's debut self-titled album from 1998. And for anybody that doesn't know, System of a Down is an Armenian American band, and a lot of their lyrical content is about the Armenian genocide that the Turkish government committed, well, technically during the Ottoman Empire during World War One, and it was a rough time for everybody. And
Sure
this
was.
is a band that will never let you forget that shit at all.
It's important.
And yeah, the band consists of Serge Tankian, the singer, Darren Malakian, who's the guitarist and the background vocalist, and if you've ever heard Lonely Day, he was the lead singer on that song. Shavo Odagian, um, who is the bassist, who is the bald man with a braided beard, and then John Dolmayan, who is the drummer. This album was completely produced by Rick Rubin, and you already know just based off of that, it's going to be a banger. But it's one of the highest rated debut albums of its time, and especially of its genre.
Produced
And
fully
it
by Rick
starts
Rubin.
off with an huh?
Produced fully by Rick Rubin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just, I mean,
No, yeah, it
uh,
was produced by Rick Rubin. I mean, System of a Down helped with the production, but Rick Rubin was probably the main mastermind behind like
I can see that now that I've heard a good bit of System of the Down. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. I didn't. Okay, cool. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're all good. So the album starts off with a 2.5 minute banger, and that's something you'll kind of notice throughout the album, except for a song here and there. Most of them try to stay in that like 2 to 3 minute range, but 2.5 minute intro track is "Sweet Pea," which is pretty much directly about the criticism of pedophilia within the church and religious extremism. So if you didn't know what they were talking about in this album or what they were going to be talking about on future albums, this is a great start. Sweet Pea is an absolute banger. There's to me, there's not a bad song on this album. Just weak, just like not as good songs. And great example of that would be the next song, No, where it's spelled Know. It's a great song, but compared to the other songs on this album, I do feel like it's a little bit weaker as far as it goes. Then it goes into the first hit they ever had, Sugar, which, if you haven't heard that song, I suggest listening to it. It's a great introduction to them. And all of the music on this album is written by the guitarist, Darren Malakian, and all of the lyrics is written by Serge Tankian. And Sugar is essentially, like most of their songs, very anti war. very fast, very spazzy. There's jazz kind of influences throughout, and it's pretty much about the world's population overuse and reliance on drugs and other substances,
Yeah, man, we
as
got wars
well
to
as
fight. We
huh?
have wars to fight, bro. Expect us to fight World War One and take down the Ottoman Empire without drugs and bullshit.
No, you needed sugar of some sort.
That
And
jazz fight.
directly after that, it goes into Suggestions, which is an absolute banger, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And again, very anti war, just like most of their music is. I mean, you're not going to find one pro war song from these guys at all. Right after that, it goes into my favorite hit off the album, Spiders, which is an absolute banger of a song. It's a little slower paced than the rest of the album, but it's a wonderful song nonetheless. D Devil, which is track 6, is one of the shorter songs on the album at 1 minute and 43 seconds, but it very, very much so anti war. Again, that's going to be a repeating theme throughout this album. If it's not about war, I will let you know. Soil is, according to their guitarist himself, about death, friends that die, and life that dies just as a whole. If I'm not mistaken, they had a friend who wound up committing suicide, and this song is almost kind of a tribute to him, but at the same time, just kind of a tribute to anybody that just has died way too young and just died in general, because death is a horrible thing as it goes, but without death, what is life, and without life, what is death? And they get into deeper elements like that in their later albums, but this is a great introduction when it comes to their deeper stuff. And Soil is probably my favorite song on the album personally. One of the heaviest songs they ever put out. The next song, keeping in mind with anti-war rhetoric, is War with a question mark. And again, 2 minutes 40 seconds. You're not. It's not going to keep you there forever. The entire album is just 40 minutes and 36 seconds long. Until you get to the Japanese edition bonus tracks, which we will get into those in a sec.
Shit.
Right after War, it goes into Mind, which is the longest song on the album by far at 6+ minutes, and just an absolute banger of a track. I would say the best, going back to 3-song runs, as we usually talk about on here, I would say Spiders, D Devil, and Soil is probably my go to as far as a 3-song run. But I mean, there's a lot to be said about Soil, War, and Mind, which there again,
Quite good
there's not a
title.
bad, yeah, and
As like a casual System of the Down fan who's never listened to a full project, those would be the 3. And if you say that they're like, after like hearing this or participating in this and hearing you talk about it, knowing your expertise, those are the 3 that I would probably gravitate towards, just because names be names.
yeah, I mean they're well known for just having like one-word names for a lot of their
Right.
songs,
I mean, they're
and
following the industry standards. Like, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the way they do that, because even like as short as a title track, as short as a track's title may be in their catalog, the actual content of the song is going to be very, very lengthy, very deep,
yeah.
up until
I
you
wouldn't
get
have
to some
guessed
of their
that.
later stuff where you start listening to stuff like She's Like Heroin, and is basically talking about selling your ass for drugs.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's not even on this album, but
No,
they don't really
we'll get to
go
that
into that.
later.
Yeah, they don't go into that quirkiness on this album.
I like
As
System of
far
the
as
Down, but I would have guessed that all their songs are that short. I mean, now that you say that, I was younger and I like System of the Down, from what I remember, but I never would have guessed that their songs were that short, because I would have thought that they were. My brain would have automatically categorized them in like the all of our songs are over 5 minutes type of space,
Yeah, and really they only have one song on this album that's longer than 5 minutes, and it's the 6 minute song. And the next longest is 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Then everything else is either 1, 2, or 3 minutes long.
Same here.
And they kept it pretty. They just pretty much just wanted to show what the world what they were capable of as musicians, as well as freedom fighters in their own right. Right after track 9, though, you have 4 more songs left. You have Peephole, which is the 4 minute 6 second song I was just talking about, and another one of my favorites on this album, absolute ripper of a song, Then it goes into Cubert, which is the only song on the album that Tonkian had like songwriting help from Malakian, who wrote the music to pretty much the entire album. And right after that, it goes into, I would say, probably my second favorite song on the album, Darts, which is another like short but sweet 2 minute 40 second song. And then the last song on the album, which again, another one of my favorites. I like this is an album where like every other song is my favorite. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Kind of like Harley was talking about the Third Eye Blind self-titled debut album. Like, just depends on what mood you're in is what my favorite one is. But Soil is usually my favorite. But the last song on the album is an acronym. Pluck
Oh, hey.
stands for Politically Lying, Unholy, Cowardly Killers.
Hell
And
yeah.
this song is directly dedicated to the victims of the Armenian genocide and is meant to be a criticism and denouncing of the Turkish government. And the entire album is very, very anti-fascist in nature, and depending on what song it is, it could be a bit pro-communist. I mean, you look at the cover art of the album is actually from a 1928 anti-fascist poster designed by the visual artist John Hartfield for the Communist Party of Germany. The text on the original poster is "A hand has 5 fingers. With these 5, grab the enemy." The slogan inspired part of the text contained on the back of the album, which itself says, the hand has 5 fingers, capable and powerful with the ability to destroy as well as create." Later, it is written in bold letters, "Open your eyes, open your mouths, close your hands, and make a fist." And they're very, very, very like freedom fighters as far as the band goes. I'd say like them, Rage Against the Machine, U2 to a slightly less extent would be bands that I would say kind of like lyrically, like they kind of fall in line with these kinds of bands. But I would say System of a Down kind of like is more in line with like a Rage Against the Machine because it's just straight in your face, like fuck you to fascists, and I
Very
love them
memorable
for that.
music too. It's like it sounds like war. You know, it sounds like the from what I remember. No, I may have never even heard this album, but it
You've
reminds
heard
me.
Sugar. You've heard
Word.
Sugar for sure.
I probably have heard
Um,
most of the album because I mean, my mom dated a guy who played. He was a gigantic System of the Down fan. I probably have heard a lot of their discography.
yeah.
It's interesting though. I'm glad that they're. It sounds like something I'll be into lyrically
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
you would definitely like it. This
I'm gonna make a
album
mega
has
playlist.
gone. This album was certified platinum by 2001, so just 3 years after the album's release, it had already gone platinum, and it has since gone double platinum. So that means it's sold at least 2 million copies. And in my humble opinion, this is probably their second weakest album.
Wow.
Yeah, so like a lot of their music is just absolutely fantastic. Once we get to 2001, we're going to be getting to my personal favorite album, which is a lot of people's favorite album from them, Toxicity, which
Oh
is
yeah, I
one
know
of the
that one.
best metal albums ever made. But for this, I would have to give this a strong 8 out of 10. Like, I mean, there are some parts where I feel like it could have been a little stronger. No, I mean, lyrical content, it's a 10 out of 10. But as far as the actual music, I'd probably give it all in all, probably an 8 out of 10. Because musically, there are a few parts of the album that feel a little weak.
Is
But
it is it like
I
listening to like
would
an Immortal Technique album? Like lyrically, I'm with everything, but like just bro, can we have a little bit of creativity? Is it kind of like that type of not maybe like the
sort
same
of,
as
yeah. It's like some of it gets a little bit repetitive, but like this type of music really hadn't been made before these guys started doing it, and if it had been, it hadn't been done to the level that they were doing it. So that
right?
is like even the repetition of some of the songs as far as they sound, like I mean, it's such a new concept as far as like 1998 is concerned that like the repetition really isn't that big of a deal because they immediately found their sound pretty much right out the gate. So I can't really hold that against them. So yeah, I'm going to stick with an 8 out of 10. And the one song on here, if you haven't heard any song by System of a Down in any capacity, I would recommend Sugar. Um, just to give a good idea of what they usually sound like. But Spiders is definitely my favorite hit off of the album.
Like I've heard Spiders before. Yeah, I'll definitely. I'm writing that down in my notes now. I'll get
Another
depressed and then I'll get
another
fired up.
song by them that reminds me a lot of Spiders as far as just the way it is, like slow to heavy to slow to heavy, would probably be Aerials. But I just prefer Spiders.
Spiders it is. Man. I like spiders too.
Yeah. With that being said, we're going to go to Mr. Kenny's first album in 1998 that he wants to talk about and hit us with it.
Yeah, man. So I mean, who else, man? The biggest, the Apple in the big, and I mean, he co-founded the whole company with Biggs, and Dame Dash, bro. It's Jay-Z, bro. Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, the greatest rapper ever. What are y'all talking about, man?
I
Boy,
guess.
howdy.
Right? I mean, Nas didn't drop this year or nothing, but that's okay because he wasn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah. He didn't
So,
exist anymore.
yeah, he basically got removed until the 2020 Grammys, or so they say. Anyways, anywho, this is a classic hip hop album. I mean, Reasonable Doubt, which was Jay Z's debut album, and it did come out in '96. But I'm hating because I'm hating, and that's my choice. I'm, uh,
Right?
this is one of my favorite Jay Z albums. My favorite Jay Z album. I don't like to tell people because it's like probably Jay Z's most poppy album ever. But Hard Knock Life is definitely what, if I was a Jay Z fan, I would say that this is the grittiest. This is what really solidified him as like, oh, he's a star, but he's also the realest writer ever. You know, um,
Yeah.
if I was gonna say that, that's not what I'm saying. I don't co-sign that, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Um, so the lead single on this was it's the Hard Knock Life. Everybody knows that, man. Annie, you ain't seen Annie. I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. Go on and get off this podcast and go watch you some Annie. Listen to that beat. Listen to that beat like 100 times and then come back and listen to what I'm about to say, dog. It's like I play this beat in my everyday life when times get hard. It's a hard knock life. It's got to go to the car and rap about it. So it's it's a very important song in the history of sampling too, actually, because when Jay-Z got the sampling rights for Annie, uh, that iconic "It's the Hard Knock Life," that made the song. This is also Jay-Z's first really big hit, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. This was his first like hit. Like he was out there now. But when he got the sample, he made it so any hip hop artist forever could sample it for free. So you know, that's cool. Nipsey Hussle made a song on his album way in the future, 55 or whatever that was. Where he sampled it, and man, just that song probably doesn't happen without Jay-Z. So that is, I do have to give him some actual flowers on that one. I appreciate you, Jay-Z. Thanks. But yeah, onto the it's not as braggadocious as all of the Jay-Z albums. I mean, there's a song called Money, Cash, and Hoes, but I mean, it's rap, man. That's how we live. Um, uh, Flexing is to depression, as depression is to Alan Jackson. Money, clothes, and hoes is to Jay-Z.
That's right.
We got a fire list of producers on here, man. We got Jermaine Dupri. We got Lil Rob, RP Lil Rob. Oh wait, no, I don't know if Lil Rob's dead. Sorry, redacted. RP Black Rob. Sorry, my apologies. DJ Premier. Everybody knows DJ Premier. We got Eric
Oh, yeah.
Clairman, Swizz Beats, Timbaland. Man, they would just found Kanye. This would have been out of here. And then
Shout out Swizz Beats, dude. I feel like he still doesn't get the credit he deserves as far as that goes.
I don't think he gets enough credit. Like, and then on my next artist, there's only two artists I'm talking about today. Swizz Beats is like the foundation of him. So Swizz Beats was literally on the three biggest albums of the year in rap, at least, and two that are like monumental. I guess three that are monumental because I'm not gonna anger my old head fans in the Mecca capital of Stoops in Brooklyn and say that this isn't the greatest amongst the greatest hip hop albums ever because it is Jay-Z, obviously.
Yeah.
And like we got uh, Swizz Beats actually produced "If I Should Die," which is I actually like the lyrical content of it. I'm not being sarcastic at all. It's Jay-Z and featuring Da Ranjez. I hope I didn't butcher that. If I did, I'm sorry. But they're talking about, if I should die, like what, they're hustling, man. Jay-Z shot his brother or whatever, whatever the story is. So, I mean, it's real out there. They might die, so they make a song called "If I Should Die." It makes sense. Thank God they didn't. Uh, the fourth song is called "Ride or Die." So, I mean, you pick somebody up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now the fifth song I actually do have a more well put together take on. It features Big Jazz, and it's called Redacted What, Redacted Who, Originator 99. So, this song is, I may have this wrong, but we're just gonna send it because I'm not the biggest Jay-Z person. Okay, this song is done with Jazz, and Jazz is the guy who was like, he was Jay-Z and this guy were standing on a corner rapping in 1988, back when Jay-Z rapped fast. And when everybody says that, Jay-Z was rapping in 88, and you can find very, very low quality footage of him rapping and, wearing a Hawaiian shirt. That is an actual collaboration between them. And I do believe it is the same song, or at least very close to the same song. It was a commercial flop, as a single, but that's how it goes, man. They don't like the real shit. They want to hear that money cash hose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the remix, and then produced by Timbaland. Can't go wrong with Timbaland. He's always a solid producer, especially in that era. He's Timbaland's in his prime. You got Swizz Beatz. This album and producers goes Swizz Beatz, Stevie J, Timbaland, Swizz Beatz, DJ Premier. You can't go, man. Those are, man, like, you can't go wrong with that, man.
Shout out the 45 King also. He's probably more well known for making the beat to Stan, but shout out.
No, he made Hard Knock Life too.
Yep, sure did.
Made Hard
And he
Knock
just
Life,
passed
yeah.
away this last year, so rest in peace, King.
Rest in peace. Thank you for all the classics, man. For real, the 45 King. Thank you for that. I always thought Eminem made the Stan beat. I don't know who told me that, but I just believed it.
He kind of like did some tweaking to it, but like he originally I just actually read the 45 King essentially took he heard a movie with Thank You with Dido in it, and then he took that beat, he took that song, and he sampled it, and then later down the woodwork, it wound up falling into Eminem's hands, and Eminem may or may not have made one of his 3 biggest hits with that beat. So
some would call that Eminem's greatest song. Some would call that one of the greatest songs in hip hop.
yeah, one of the best storytelling songs of all time for sure.
It laid a foundation, but it ain't no Nas. But yeah, that's not.
No, you're definitely. I mean, again, Nas wrote a song from the perspective of a gun. It's pretty hard to beat that. Like,
on God, dude, he did, and he didn't have the internet neither, or he did have the internet, but it was very slow, and he had to
dude, you'd have to fucking dial up.
There was no Chat GPT.
No, he would have had to dial up and fucking.
And what do you even Google?
Like fucking.
Yeah. And that was a good attempt at that. I appreciate the that was a good one. I suck at trying to make that noise. Like, yeah.
now you just sound like dolphins fucking. I don't know
bro. Hey, bro, don't talk about Dolph like that.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, my bad. All right, Memphis wasn't involved in this at all. Memphis was not involved in the making of this album. We don't fuck with
Memphis
Jay-Z.
Bleed, but that's a big lie. He's from New York anyway.
That's a big reason why we don't. I mean, it's not really a big reason, but that's another. It's on the stack of reasons why we don't fuck with them. Why the fuck does man just name himself Memphis Bleak? Who told you could do this?
Yeah. Why'd you not shout out? Why'd you not shout out 666? And that.
We do have 666, man, and we do have fucking and. Oh damn it! I should have. I wish I could pivot. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. Because if I'm not mistaken, hold on. Live action. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
It's all good. You just got to believe.
666 Mafia dropped their best album this year.
Shit.
It shits on everything Jay-Z's ever done, and I would much rather talk about it, but I'm going to cover it real quickly, and I'm just going to make this a hybrid type deal. Because, I mean, I'll definitely get kicked out of my hometown if I cover Jay-Z over 36 Mafia. What the fuck is wrong? Okay, so what else can I say, man? 36 Mafia, they're basically shitting on whatever. That's how it really was. Like, folks from the middle talking about Jay-Z and shit, and then just hit a motherfucker, it just interrupts, and then everything gets bugged, and music's never the same.
Yep. Bro,
and it's got
that album, bro. The album they put like crazy and hold up, Crazy in the Lazy Days, Tear the Club Up Thugs and 36 Mafia, dude. Like that whole album, like you got Like you said, who's
Dude,
the drunkest up in here? Throw your
you got
set.
Hit 'em Motherfucker. You got
Undercover freaks.
Who got them
Like get
nines?
buck. Oh my god, get buck.
Yeah, the
Get
club up
wild.
9-7. I'm so sorry, DJ Paul. I'm so sorry. Wherever you are, I know you can hear me.
Yeah. Hey, and it has their biggest hit. Well, it
Light
might
night
not
tip.
be it might not be their most streamed song, but it is their most popular song in the streets, and that's "Slop on My Knob."
Is Flop on My Knob on this?
Yeah, 98. Yeah, crazy in the
I'm
lazy
not
days.
seeing it. I got a track listing up now. I'm not seeing it. I think that may have been Pat's song. I think that might be yeah. But we do have Tear the Club Up, which Tear the Club Up and Late Night Tip. They're I mean, Stay Fly is probably 3 6 Mafia's biggest hit, but let's just act like Stay Fly doesn't exist for this conversation. You know, um, that's I mean, not to disrespect that song, but this isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about Tear the Club Up 9-7. That shit's an integral part of my life, man. DJ Paul gives you instructions. He tells you do not leave the fucking venue until somebody is hurt badly, preferably bleeding out. You know, this shit caused riots. I have a homie. His dad was in the military, so they moved from Memphis to Germany, and he had to move back to America. Like they had to send him back to America because he showed the kids in elementary school 3 6 Mafia, and he basically was, uh, basically to make a long story short, like inciting a riot is what they came up with.
God,
And I mean, when you're out here saying like, "I bet you won't hit a motherfucker, hit him," tear
fucking
the club up. This shit's still being used right
wait a
now. There's
minute.
somebody sampling that shit right now, trying to make some fire.
Yeah, hold up. We was looking at two out. You were looking at chapter 2, World
Yeah.
Domination.
Okay.
That's not. Yeah, the 97. I was looking at Crazy in the Lazy Days 98 with.
See, I didn't think I was off that bad. I knew there was a reason I had to pick Jay Z.
T-
Fuck, fuck, dude, y'all sent me into panic mode, and then I just all right. Well, anyways,
it's all
I didn't get to make 97, so that's fine. Jay Z's an okay rapper sometimes. I put him about 35th on my list.
yeah.
Go tune into the album. I give Hard Knock Life. I give it like a 6.5. It's nice. I give fucking World Domination. I give that shit a 9 or maybe a 10. Definitely a 9. Um.
All of them.
Anyways, so that was fun. That's right out the gate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Combination.
Combination. No, it's a madness. It's a madness.
Oh, oh
Combination.
God, dude! I need to go. I need to smoke some weed or drink some drink.
I'm about to get some perp. So with number 2, I'm about to smoke on that. I'm about to roll me one of them Scooby Doo dicks. About to smoke on that top shelf Zaza. Pop a
Zaza,
perk.
you smoking on Zaza?
Pop a perk 30. Go straight to fucking. Uh,
Pop a perk 30,000.
This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Man, I hurt my leg at work. They gave me that perk 3 million. I might have to.
I melted straight into the fucking couch.
Man, never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke. Hey, kid, don't do drugs. All right, we're
Dare.
good.
Not yet.
We say we want now.
Dare.
Yeah, disclaimer's out.
Dare to be different, man. You know.
God.
Dude, I'm
Here we
disappointed
go.
Man,
that
smoking weed.
goddamn line so much. Like,
No,
You
that
ready?
line disappointed us. They were setting us up. You got to remember that.
oh, dude, they're pro weed now. They're like, yeah, we don't want you doing any drug, not even tobacco. Weed's fine.
You ready for this?
Hit them with it.
Hit them with it.
We gotta do the number 2 pick. You know, I am struggling with my other 2 albums, but I am gonna put them in honorable mentions.
And
It's
you can
just
always
like
just do what I did.
I have to put this album. I listened to it so much, like as a kid, and especially when I first got out. Like when me and Trevor graduated, like I listened to this album that whole summer, pretty much the rest of that year. Honestly, like I burned it out. Um, we gotta go with the first Godsmack album, their debut,
Nice.
Ooh,
self-titled.
it's
Like,
a good fucking album.
look, the thing about Godsmack, I'll say this is like they did something so different on this first album that was like it just I don't know, man. Like they were just so maybe it's the hungriness they had. I don't know. It was like they were fucking locked in. This album is fucking great. Like, there's not a bad song on here. Well, the only song I can go without listening to is Voodoo, and maybe that's because I've heard it 10 million times. But
That's a
I
fair
like
point.
Voodoo, right?
like, this has one of my favorite album openers with Moon Baby. Dude, like, it just kicks in. It's like, let's take a blast to the moon, baby. I'll say girls ever again. I'll take a trip to Broadway. Oh,
That's what I'm
that
talking
shit's
about.
fucking fire, dude. Like, listen, Sully Erna was fucking singing his ass off. Like, dude, this whole fucking album is just great. Like, there's, oh god, damn, I had like I said, I went back and listened to all 5 albums I had today, and I listened to this, and I was like, damn, it still makes me feel the same shit as I did when I was a teenager. Listen to this, like, bro, Moon Baby, and then you go into their first big hit, Whatever. Dude, dude, that song goes fucking hard. I don't give a fuck what year it is. Like, Whatever by Godsmack just hits. Dun 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 dun. I don't need your shit today. I'm pathetic. No
Hey, that's a
way.
banger.
Oh, needed. Hey, that shit just goes hard. I mean,
Absolutely. No, like for real. Like
like
that's
one of the
it's a good ass song.
like yeah, it's like one of it's one of those songs. It's like, to me, it's like Man in the Box. It's like the first big hit. Like, ironically, I guess it's the first big hit. Both bands, and it's like, you know, it's like you've heard it, you know, hundreds, like thousands of times, and it's just like it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
The shit just like it's so good. It is just so fucking good.
Well, I mean, Nickelback's coming, so you gotta, Godsmack, you gotta get
Well,
the out the way. Nickelback's
we'll
coming.
get to Nickelback. We'll get to Nickelback pretty soon. Well, honestly, I'm surprised Trevor didn't pick them in '96 with their debut album, Curb.
Oh,
But
nah, bro, 96 was too packed for
That'll be
that.
all right.
I would have judged you.
when we get to Silver Side Up though in 2001,
I
somebody's
got that.
definitely got
I
to
got
pick
that for
that.
Christmas, bro. I feel you. That's a bop classic.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow will be 9/11. Will be 20, 30 years since it dropped.
20, 30 years.
23.
Oh, 2023. Heard.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
all right.
dropped.
That
No,
shit
it
makes sense.
dropped on 9/11. Like, it dropped
So,
on nine
no
eleven
shit.
2001. Yeah.
So did the Blueprint by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we can
did.
save this for 2001 though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tomorrow though. Like, I mean, 9/11
Oh
is
yeah,
tomorrow. So it's like, also the album, I mean, God Hates Us All by Slayer dropped the same day too. So,
bro. What a day to drop some music.
yeah. Apparently,
I
I didn't
guess.
know that. Okay. I know this is a little like we're getting on a tangent, but, or a sidewinder, but like, come to find out, I didn't know. Like, I remember being in school and my parent, like my mom coming and getting me out of kindergarten when 9/11 happened. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know this because like I looked at all these albums that popped off that dropped on 9/11, right? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, of course, I was 5 years old, so I don't remember just the days, like of the week. I was like, I guess I assumed it was a Friday. All the albums dropped.
These drop on
No, it
Tuesdays.
was a fucking. It was yeah.
Yeah.
My dad told me that albums used to drop on Tuesdays all the time. I was like, what the fuck?
In my opinion, it's better, but that's a whole other tangent. But I mean, it yeah, damn, that really just killed everybody's vibe like a motherfucker. But everybody's like excited. You got all these albums coming out. Folks was about to go
Yeah.
and party and go to the CD store, and then just 9/11 happened.
Yeah, no shit.
And then like you can't. What do you listen to after 9/11, bro? Besides the national anthem,
They banned every song. Or they
right?
banned like 160 songs. 160
There's a
good
whole
songs.
list. You can actually look it up.
Yeah, you couldn't
Well,
play it the next day. Like, pretty much all Rage Against the Machine songs were on there. Like, their
you
whole
don't bring no system of
discography.
down around.
Really, I mean, I really don't know. Like, now I will say the best song, because a lot of people started writing like patriotic songs for it. like after 9/11.
Where were you?
Yeah, that's the best one. Like Alan Jackson, where were you when the world stopped turning? That was like, brother. I'm not. I don't know that song. There's a few. I'm not a very patriot. Like I am. Okay, that's communism. That's. um, there's like it's hard for me to get invested in a patriotic song. You know what I'm saying? Like for it to hit me hard. But there are a few songs that do it, and like that's one up. Like where were you when the world stopped turning by Alan Jackson, and what was the Stars and Stripes? Hold up, was the Stars and Stripes and the Eagles Fly by Aaron Tipton? That shit gets to me too. Goddamn. Anyways, I'm getting on a fucking tangent. Goddamn, we done went off talking about 9/11. Anyways, yeah,
That's how it
Godsmack
goes.
first album. Uh, like you got, I don't know, dude. This is just perfect album. Like honestly, I don't know how you get a better date. Like there's not too many better debuts than God's like that first Godsmack album. I mean, because you got Keep Away, that was a hit. Like you got Time Bomb, Time Bomb, baby. You got
Bomb.
Bad Religion. Yeah, like you got Bad Religion. Oh, Bad Religion, Bad Religion. Take away from me. Get back. Like that, dude. Immune.
I do that cover album though.
Someone in London is the. Someone in London. That's the instrumental. Isn't it like there might be a little bit of singing? Ain't that right, Trevor? It's like mostly just instrumental, like acoustic, or like
For the
not
most
acoustic.
part, yeah.
Yeah, but like it's
For the
cool.
most
I
part.
mean,
That
and then it's like
Godsmack, bro.
it's almost like an intermission, and then it goes into Get Up and Get Out, or Get Up, Get Out, banger, Now or Never, Stress, Situation, like they just didn't stop, bro. They just like they were hammering it out on this album, and then they closed the album with Voodoo, which I say I could go without Voodoo, and I probably could, but it is an iconic song. Like
As a casual
everybody
fan,
knows,
it's a song that I recognize. I like it too. It's not like I remember that song. It's like I remember
yeah,
this is good, you know.
everybody knows it's like I'm not the one who's so far away when the
Yes.
snake bite enters my vein. Never did I wanna be here again, and I don't remember why I came.
If I was in the proper setting, I could kill this with my voice, but I'm gonna save it.
Dude, I don't like. I had, I was sitting there out of these albums. I honestly, I probably could have went number one. This probably could have been my number one album in '98. But I wanted to talk about it. So
Absolutely.
like
I rock with Godsmack. That's another. I don't know, Harley. You pick albums my mom loved. Like that just every episode I've been on. That's the one. That's it. Years. This episode. So shouts out. I rock with Godsmack.
mhm. That shit's good, brother. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like I just you know
Oh, definitely a good thing. Like, that's what's up. Like it's good to know that. You got cool taste in music, cool people.
yeah, like I just I am like I don't know. I like primarily I am like I grew up listening to hard rock and heavy metal, with my family.
Yeah,
But
and that's technically how I grew up too.
because like we'll get into that when we start going like when we start like after we go up to this year or till we get to 24 or whatever, and then we go back like once we start going back to like the 80s and like the 70s, like that's when that's where my roots, with like Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and Rush and like
Hell yeah! I mean,
yeah
all my education in those bands comes from my mom, so it's good to get like a follow up on the shit. I haven't even heard some of this because you'll be talking about like the Godsmack album. I wouldn't have even thought about that, and I probably heard that entire album front to back numerous times, and
yeah
it's just like it's good. Like it's good nostalgia, you know. It's the right kind
oh
of
yeah
nostalgia.
and
Oh
it
yes.
still holds up. But I promise you,
Oh, that's a banger.
like I said, I listened to it today. I mean,
I
it's
listened to
still.
it before I listened to Hard Knock Life Volume 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dude, I'm telling you, like God, dude, this shit. Fuck, man, it's hard. I probably could have went. I don't know, because like we do these albums, and it's kind of hard to do it in order. Particular years because I love. There's albums like the albums I pick. I love them all so much.
Right.
But like
It's a
like
top 3.
98 is kind of hard. The other years, I guess I was more clear. Like 97, the Third Eye Blind album. Like I love that. That was easy. Like Matchbox 20 was easy. You
Dude, that
know,
Matchbox 20 review was fire. Like that made me want to go out and buy it like on physical. I want to go get it on vinyl after listening to like
dude,
like dead
that
ass,
shit
bro.
slaps. I don't know
I
what
do
to
have a
tell you.
question.
Yeah.
Just real quick tangent. I haven't been able to catch 97's episode yet. Who covered Life After Death?
Well, I shouted it out. I don't like. I feel like the albums that I had brought to the table, I liked personally more than I brought up on Life After Death. But like to go a little deeper on it, Life After Death is easily Biggie's best album.
Yeah. I mean, damn, it's my fault. I could have shown up. I wasn't doing nothing. I was chilling,
No,
making
that's all
music.
good.
It's a great album. We can loop back. The Damn, this is a hell of 97 now. I should have been on 97.
Yeah.
What the hell was I doing? All right, sorry, we can
We'll have
change.
you on. We'll have you on more of the year.
Listen,
We'll have
I'll
you
tell you
on more
this,
of the year
Kenny.
reviews.
If you want to know where I'm at, like 97, the closest we got to rap. Well, no, I think Trevor had a rap album. The closest
Yeah.
the closest I got to rap was $3 Bill, y'all, from Limp Bizkit.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Mm.
Fred
But
Durst
You
and
gonna
Go
talk
Go.
shit, Limp Bizkit? If you're gonna
I mean,
talk shit about Limp Bizkit, this is the wrong podcast.
Limp Bizkit, dog. I mean, all these
Yeah.
folks were at Woodstock '99 together, though. We do gotta take that into account. All these folks we're about to talk about today, most of them were
Yep.
at Woodstock '99.
Listen,
All
I
right.
don't know what to tell you. This shit, like Limp Bizkit. Listen, 99 to that, like significant other. It's gonna be on mine. Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. That's gonna be on mine.
Bro,
I mean,
I love that
that
title.
shit,
Hold on.
brother. That shit slaps, dude. People
Yeah.
they like to shit on Limp Bizkit, but they're like Nickelback. People shit on them,
Revisionist
but guess
history
what?
tells us that Limp Bizkit wasn't shit, but I remember Limp Bizkit. It was out there, out here. Just like, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Kid Rock was out here. This shit was bumping. Like, it was on everything, everywhere.
Only God knows why, brother.
You walk outside, and yeah, only the sky used to just scream "Only God knows why" to you before the internet.
But
That's how streaming was
now
made.
that's
All right, sorry.
now you get. I mean, really, I guess I'd say like Godsmack debut. I mean, fuck it, bro. I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Like, have to, have to. Like, it's so damn good.
It deserves
You
it.
know, like the lowest spot is like somewhere in London, just because it's like instrumental. Like, it's not a very it's different. Like, it's not a fascinating instrumental. It's just like there, kind of like an interlude.
Is it good? Yeah, is it good in sequence of the album? It like more serves a purpose of getting you. If you listen to, I know all three of us listen to albums. Like
Yeah.
God
It kind
intended.
of it kind of gives you a break. Because
Yeah,
like the album, like that Godsmack album is really fast paced,
oh yeah,
in your fucking face. Like,
it's
there's no
Godsmack.
bullshit. Like that one song kind of breaks it up and then it just goes back into, fucking you up.
I like albums like that because it shows the craft of making an album, which I think is a dying craft in 2024.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's the thing about
Yeah.
like that's the big difference. We talk about these 90 albums, like, like the way that they would, like you said, like craft an album and like just like there's a huge difference between now because okay, I'll give you a good example. Even from like the early 10, like the tens to now, like just for an example, like take Drake, take care, like that album is perfect. Like the interludes, like it's so constructed, and then you go into something like his new shit, you know, like
you can
I
tell
don't
that it's
know.
not done the same way. You can tell
Yeah,
that
like
there was
you
a
can.
shift in the entire industry.
Yeah, like you could go to like Certified Lover Boy, you know, for example.
That's
It's
a
like
mixtape.
there's
Oh
like
God,
a
that's a
few
mixtape.
songs. There's like a few songs throughout it that are decent. You know, you can listen to, but you get lost in it. Like there's nothing that just sticks out to you. You
There's
know what
no
I'm
theme to
saying?
Certified Lover Boy for me, and it's like Kendrick. I guess if you can't mention Drake without Kendrick these days.
Yeah, you
Kendrick's
can.
first
Don't do
album.
that.
Um, Kendrick's first albums, they're all of his albums really, they're very cohesive. They're always albums. J. Cole's albums, yeah, some of them more than others, but
The
Drake, it's
older
just like
one.
after I'd say after Nothing Was the Same, like for that in particular, was
Yeah.
he didn't really like that ended, like concept albums ended, and I guess people call those concept albums now. Although that's not really
They
what.
weren't. Yeah.
Yeah, views.
I wouldn't call it a
See Joe
concept
Budden.
album. Do what?
But anyways, saying about Drake. Drake.
Certified Lover Boy. Certified My
Right.
Hero. Oh, hold up. Wait, talking about My Hero. Hey, I gotta say this. I found this on Twitter. Something popped up. Apparently Dave Grohl has had like he had a kid, like, you know, he's married and has like, you know, 20-old kids, like, and
Nice.
teenage, like, no, this motherfucker just had a baby. Like
Oh,
some random, yeah, like I guess he's been cheating on his wife. So I mean,
he's listening to that Alan Jackson. Get his life together. That's what I would tell him, David. David, you're gonna need to
God damn
go
it,
get you a thermos of whiskey, and you need to go sit down and think about this.
dude, he put out a statement. He put out a statement. He's like, it's come to my knowledge that I have had a kid. I've had a kid out of wedlock.
It's come
Uh,
to my knowledge.
yeah, he's like, I'm like, dude, it's like the way he did it, it's like it sounds like somebody fired the fucking football
Like
coach. Like,
right, like you're trying to leave a company wide memo. To
yeah,
whom it may concern, it seems I have another child. Thank
yeah,
you. Please feel free to email between the business hours of 9 and 4.
yeah. I'm like,
What are you
dude,
looking at?
what the fuck is this? Like,
He needs that
I
Alan
don't know.
Jackson as like, bro. Flew too far in the wrong direction. He needs
Yeah,
to be humbled.
yeah. He needs some
I,
He needs Alan
So
Jackson, brother.
I actually do mean that too. I mean, like that. That's bad. Like that's a weird thing to do to a family, unless they're in love, man. Unless his wife could be a very mean lady. I mean, they could come out,
Uh,
he's in the right, but they are married, so that's wrong.
yeah, that's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's whatever. I don't know. I just saw that it was like breaking news, so I had to say something on the pod
damn,
about
breaking
it. Like,
news. Shit,
yeah,
did this just happen?
yeah, today, like it just came out like a few hours ago, apparently.
Jesus, man,
shit.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Like he
Um,
just found out he had a kid. Like I guess he got hit with a somehow he
I
found
got
out
hit
he
with
had a
that.
fucking kid. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
that.
he got hit with that text, and then he went to go confirm, and then he was at the last step, and he's like walked out the place, and was like, to
Yeah.
whom it may concern.
Rest in peace.
Well,
I
shit,
mean,
the album.
kind of a shitty
But
movie,
yeah,
but whatever.
I mean,
Well,
shout out to the
shit.
kid, man.
Volume
Kid
three.
probably gonna be cool. That's a cool kid.
Yeah.
Have some adversity. Adversity ain't always the worst thing.
No.
They not like us,
A little dirt under your fingers ain't gonna hurt.
But
man.
I guess
Last week it was
after
fucking Andre.
I don't know. I guess I guess after breaking that, we're gonna go into Trevor's second album. See what he
That's
has.
right.
Follow up, sir.
And yep, you appear to have fucked up because this is the
Trying to
first studio album of my
find a
favorite
blanket.
rapper.
Oh shit.
My favorite rapper of all time. I'm sorry, he's a
MSN.
hunk. Well, not quite. He's my second favorite rapper. No,
Liberal.
this is the first rapper from Aesop. Aesop. Sop. Sop. Not sap.
Rocky.
That's right. Aesop Rock.
Yeah, Rihanna's baby daddy.
Yeah, that's
ASAP
right.
Ian.
No, it's very easy to confuse both of them, not just because of their name, but like I can understand it's like if you had to pick them out of a crowd. I mean, one looks like a GameStop manager, and the other one's Rihanna's baby daddy. So like, it is kind of hard to confuse the two.
They
It's just
both
pretty.
look like they could have worked at GameStop at one point, though.
Yeah, they definitely do. But no, Aesop Rock, a New York-based rapper, that doesn't help the case trying to distinguish them either. But easiest way to tell them apart: one's white, one's black. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, Aesop, we're gonna just stop. That was today's episode. No, anyway, this is the debut studio album from Aesop Rock, Music for Earthworms. Which, fun fact about this album, actually, this one and Aesop's first mixtape, which never really had a name. Um, Basically, how he first started getting in people's ears, he was starting to take like tapes of Eminem's first big album, not Infinite, but the one directly after that, the one where he's holding a chainsaw. And when Eminem was giving out those tapes, Aesop wound up hijacking a bunch of these tapes, and he put Music for Earthworms as the side B. So like every time like someone put in like, oh, this new Eminem, and then they would flip over the tape, they'd be like, damn, why is Eminem's voice so deep?
Back when marketing was simple.
And yeah, dude, and that's how he got into the game, dude. He would just straight up just hijacked a bunch of fucking Eminem mixtapes and just like
Has
put his
Eminem
music
ever
on it.
addressed that? Has he ever spoke on it?
Honestly, I don't think he gave a shit. Like, I mean, he might like in private, but like he's never openly said anything about it because like I feel like even Eminem, like I feel like Aesop Rock is somebody you don't want to try to go after lyrically. Not that Aesop would even give a shit, but like, you know,
they're in two different worlds. But Eminem couldn't like he couldn't shock value him out of. It'd be an interesting beef, honestly. I wish we would have gotten it.
Yeah, because like
Anyway,
one dude's trying to bury the other one, and the other one's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make music.
or
Like, I
Eminem
don't
and
think
cannabis would have
Aesop.
to have fused together to even stand a chance. They would have had to have melded into one person.
Yeah, like it wouldn't have been good for either side, honestly. Just because I don't think Aesop had enough credibility at that point for him to actually be in. I can't even think of like the only time Aesop Rock has ever been like involved in any beef. He wound up like he was beefing with like some underground rappers. Like no one even knows who they are. Like him and LP were on a song called "We're Famous," and like the whole song was like "We're famous, you're not," haha. And then they just went on. Like that was the end of the beef.
Say it
And
ain't so.
yeah, pretty much. Like it was
Is this
on
LP and ASAP
It was
Rock
on.
selling out?
Yeah, no, that was that was Aesop Rock's that one and only time he ever threw shade at somebody.
I said,
But
I'm
no,
different. Yeah, I'm different. All right, sorry. Continue with
no,
it.
you're all good. This album was completely self-released, produced by the same man, start to finish, and it is a bit of a. There's three sides to it. You have some recent tracks, which is side one, and the songs on there is probably my favorite song on the album, which I hate to admit is the first song on the album, but Abandon All Hope, which was also his first music video, which he's pretty much just like hung up on a cross in a cornfield, dressed up like a scarecrow, rapping for like 5 minutes. And it's definitely, I wouldn't say unique as far as like a music video idea goes, but as far as like what he was rapping, I can't think of anybody that was rapping like Aesop Rock was in
I
'98,
can't think of anybody that
much
had done
less
that in
now.
rap at that time.
Uh-uh,
For like a
no,
music video
no,
either.
yeah, no, but it was definitely an interesting idea for a music video, and it's one that definitely sticks in your mind. Whether or not the quality is up to par in your opinion, I like the music video a lot myself, but Abandon All Hope is definitely a fantastic song. And right after that, it goes into the only man he had on the album for his features, Percy P, with Wake Up Call, which is another fantastic song. The entire album pretty much is produced by Dub L. And right after Wake Up Call, it goes into The Substance, which is a 6 minute rap song, just Aesop doing his thing. And goddamn insane song as far as that goes. Aesop Rock's earlier music was a lot more esoteric and, in simpler terms, basically like kind of hard to understand. And some people may even say that was like, he was just rapping just to rhyme words with each other. But if you really look into what he's saying, he is making sense, but you have to pull a fucking dictionary out half the
What
time
is
to
rap
figure
but
out what he's
making,
saying. That's why I'm like,
or you could just say to somebody,
right.
like, what the fuck? I mean, what do y'all want from it? What do y'all want from us, bro? Go to school.
Exactly. That's how it goes. I mean, you're trying to tell a story in a way that interests you and other people that listen to you.
These are the same folks
But
that be like,
Aesop,
Jay Z. Oh, sorry, my bad. But like,
no,
it's the
you're
same
wrong.
folks that be like, Jay Z said '90s, and that's a thing, and that's a reason for validation. Okay, Cool. So this is the same thing basically. Just
Yeah, pretty much. And he's just like, yeah, he's just basically like, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. I'm just going to do my thing. But no, The Substance is a fantastic song. And then it goes into Merit, which, again, between Merit and Abandon All Hope is probably my two favorites off this album. And right after that, it goes into a little 2 minute and 9 second. And this isn't really your average song because it's not a song. He wound up ripping the audio file off of a radio show he wound up going on. It's called 89.9 FM Night Train promo. And it was basically the DJ on there, like hyping him up and starting to play an instrumental, being like, yeah, this is Aesop Rock. Check this out. And then he goes and has a 6 minute long freestyle called Live on 89.9 FM Night Train. And if you've ever heard Aesop Rock freestyle, it's pretty much like him and like a bunch of other people that happened to be at the studio with him. They were all um, pretty much like what would later be known as the Weatherman, which is him, LP, and just several other people. And Aesop was pretty much like every time Aesop would rap, like it would start, and then as soon as he got done rapping, somebody else would start, but they would cut it, and then it would just go to Aesop Rock's next verse. So as
Oh wow.
far as like, yeah, as far as like being on like his album, it's definitely more trying to like push himself as an artist, but like some people might view that as a bit disrespectful, but it is
It's a
what
little
it is.
disrespectful, but I mean it is.
It is. I mean, it was his first album
It's a
too, and
trying to
like
make
not
it
to throw
rap
the
in the
man under the
'90s, bro. It was
bus.
hard. You had to. People like to think like it's easy. It is easier now, and it is hard now. But it was different. He had to do shit like that to get seen. Look, I mean, look at him. You know, like that's a
Yeah.
he had to
No,
he
I
had
mean,
to make
I
it
get
known.
it for sure. Though this how it goes. I mean, you look at Aesop Rock, especially like circa like Year of Our Lord 1998 Aesop Rock. Like you would look at him and be like, oh, he's got to be a guitarist in like an indie band or something like that. It's like,
Yeah,
no, he's a
man.
rapper from New York. Is like, you want to try that again? Because I don't believe you.
What's up,
And
Nirvana?
then he,
Like looking ass.
yeah, Nirvana, fucking GameStop employee looking ass, and
Just call him Nirvana. Like that. God, I bet that happened.
probably. I mean, they probably tried saying it's like, oh, he's the Radiohead of rap, and I would probably wring your neck. But
Radiohead's the
um,
Radiohead of rap, though. Right.
yeah, Radiohead is something. We're not going to disrespect them too much, but we're just going to let it be known that we don't really fuck with Radiohead here. Um,
Oh, yeah. I don't fuck with Radiohead neither, man. I'm with them.
no, that's right.
That's right.
But anyway, right after that, it goes into the two-song side called "The Controls." And it's to another two banger of songs. Coward of the Year, also featuring Percy P, and Shere Khan, which is track 8 technically, with guest vocals on both songs by Ann Colville. And she does her thing on the song, and Aesop obviously doing his Aesop thing, which is a bit esoteric in nature. But like the older he got, like he actually became a lot more straightforward lyrically. So I'm a really big fan of everything he's made since like 2007, 2012, which is None Shall Pass and Skeleton.
But none
And
shall
but
pass
we
is
will get into those.
So
None,
I
none
always
sh-
base. Sorry, my bad. Uh,
oh, you're
so
all good.
always base my favorite rapper when you talk about ASAP. I always just draw direct parallels between my favorite rapper, Lupe. So like a lot of Lupe's really early stuff, the flow's there, but the flow's very kind of he only had one or two different flows, and his beat
Yeah.
collection was very predictable. But his lyrical
Mhm.
content was insane. But it also too was just a little bit too intricate. Like he wrote this song called "Failure" that's got like a quintuple freaking entendre, and it's beautiful. But I still don't understand what the hell he's talking about. You know, is this like
Oh,
the
I
same
get
type
you.
of effect, like more or less?
Yeah. Pretty much. Like a lot of his earlier music was it'd be like you would have to like in one hand know what the hell he's talking about because he's rapping like inside jokes as well that he had with his
Oh
own
yeah,
friends that only him and his friends would understand. And on the
that's
other hand, when he's not rapping in inside jokes, it's like sometimes it's straightforward, but then the other part of it's just like, you know, like a good example would be like to go back to the opening track, which is my favorite on this album. There's one part towards the end of the song where he has a moment of like where you can actually somewhat understand what the fuck he's talking about. And you have to be listening to this dude for years to like actually fully get a grasp of like what he's talking about on every song. But even being someone that's been like one of his biggest fans since like 2010, I can still get like I still gotta like actively read the lyrics with it. And you know, like I do enjoy a good like challenge as far as listening, and especially being a writer, I try to challenge myself as far as that goes. But like one of the more straightforward parts on this song, just to show you, basically, is like I tell myself, stay up high, make a mockery of sun and moon and star till they hand over the sky. My deluxe fluxes, pivots to where the crux is, invade the town where village elders holler, who the fuck's this? And that's one of the more like straightforward like moments on the song itself, and that's still a little bit like, huh?
Yeah,
Let me
I
let me
mean,
double take that real quick.
it's not hustler language. Jay-Z wouldn't.
No, but I will say a fun fact: you listen to a lot of Aesop Rock, you actually start to see like his flows. He got a lot of his flows from Jay Z. Like respectfully, like I am a big Aesop Rock fan, and I'm not the biggest JC fan, but you got to be realistic. I mean, Jay Z changed New York rap as far as like going from like '99 and forward, and that's Aesop's wheelhouse,
They're two
and he
sides of
took
the
a lot
same
of
coin.
inspiration.
You know,
They are.
it's
As weird as it sounds, they really are.
they're neighbors, man. They might have been neighbors. What if they were neighbors, bro?
I don't know about that. I don't know. Like, when Jay Z from Brooklyn, right?
From Marcy Projects, Brooklyn.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah. So Aesop's from Northport. It's like pretty
Oh,
much like imagine the suburb part of New York City. That's where Aesop Rock is from.
all right. So ASAP Rocky must have been Jay-Z's. No, I think they got this mixed up. I think ASAP Rocky's from Newport, and ASAP Rock was Jay-Z's neighbor, and then that's who shot Jay-Z's brother.
That's
What I
right. Aesop Rock, just fucking life changing moment right there. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm
There's
an
your
underground
Illuminati
rapper.
conspiracy for this episode. I got y'all. Don't even worry about it.
Correct.
And ASAP Rocky was
Um,
born.
But no, the control side is Coward of the Year featuring Percy P as well as Shere Khan, as previously stated. Of course, you got the scratches on there by JS1 and Matty Ma, both produced by Dub L. And then the third side, some dusty oldies from a few years back is the name of it. And you got Antisocial, fully produced by Dub L. Coordinates, which is the first song Aesop Rock ever recorded and produced fully himself, which later on into his career becomes a recurring theme. He's got like 4 albums straight where he had no features and he produced the whole thing himself. So he was very, very independent.
Take that, J.
Like
Cole.
when he got into his later, yeah, like he got into like his, like he really got into his like, you know, self-reliant bag at that point. Pretty much everything past Scale of Fun. Like I think he's only had a few. But after that, you got Coordinates, like I said, produced by Aesop Rock. His first song he was ever on with Blockhead, known at this time as Plastic Soldiers, which is absolute fucking masterpiece of a song as well. And then the last song on the album, as well as some dusty oldies from a few years back, side Troubled Waters, produced by Dub L as well, with scratches by Plain Pat, not Project Pat,
Plain Pat?
and
Oh shit!
Plain Pat,
And
just regular old Plain Pat.
I know Plain
And
Pat. He from North.
yeah,
He's from North. Whatever you said.
Northport.
Yeah, the man's from Mumford. My Memphis folks forget that.
But no, Plain Pat is best known for overseeing
Kid Cudi,
Kanye and
right?
Kid Cudi during their respective early vocations, as well as working with prominent artists such as Drake, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Lupe Fiasco, Ghostface Killah, The Roots, Lloyd, Young Guns, Ashanti, Ludacris, Freeway, Ja Rule, Nori, and the Mutton Birds, among others, and a bunch. So
Fuck with
he's
the Moon
produced
Birds.
on albums Thank Me Later, Element of Freedom, Stronger with Each Tear, 808s and Heartbreak, Man on the Moon 2, like the first Man on the Moon as well, Graduation, Life of Pablo, you name it,
Ooh,
he's been on it.
Damn.
And
man, this man
Plain Pat has
crafted
been
y'all's
everywhere.
childhoods, bro. This man crafted
But
my
yeah,
freaking preteens. What you
he
mean?
made one of his first appearances on Aesop Rock's fucking like highly bootlegged album from 1998 that a lot of people, he was pretty much like, this is the infinite in Aesop Rock's catalog.
Hell yeah!
Essentially, because a
Well,
lot of people don't know it exists, but a lot of people will also tell you if they've heard it, it's one of his best works.
Dude,
absolutely.
I will tell you this album, when Trevor got me into Aesop Rock, like probably, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 or 5, whatever it's been. Well, I would say it's probably been like 6 years. I've been listening to Aesop Rock, but like I dug into this album probably about 3 years ago, and it, dude, like Trevor told, it's like most people won't like it's kind of hard to digest, like his earlier stuff, like of how he because the way he rapped, like the way he wrote his songs, like Trevor was talking about like the vocabulary and everything. But I was
This is
like,
a man that'll this is a man that will put the word cuneiform into a rap and then just go about his day like he didn't just fucking
yeah,
teach you
That's
something. Like,
beautiful.
and it was like honestly, this like it's one of my favorite. It's
Really?
one of my favorite album. It might be my favorite album of his. Well,
All right, Harley, you
it's
got a lot
pretty
of power
close,
in this
dude.
decision.
It's pretty good. Like it's pretty close of his albums, dude. Like it really is solid. Like I mean, I don't know what
I hate
Trevor would
to.
give it, but I mean, I would probably give it, a 7.5 out of 10, something
I
like
gotta
that. Like
go.
it's solid.
Like, I'm very biased to Aesop Rocks, so please take this with a grain of salt. I would say, objectively speaking, from the outside in, I would probably give it a good 7.5 out of 10, like you said. For me personally, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10, if not a 9. It's like this, just right under it. It's like an 8.8 out of 10
He
for
put
me.
plain Pat on. Give him that 9.
You know what? Fair enough. I mean, he had Plain Pat before a lot of people even knew who the fuck Plain Pat
Yeah,
was. So I got to be honest. That's a 9 out of 10,
shout out,
Oh yeah.
honestly.
Shout out
And he was
ASAP
only
Rock
doing
for.
scratches. He was only doing scratches. He was just on the fucking scratch board, man. Like,
He was in the building, man. He was there.
he was there. He oversaw one of the starts of one of the most popular and most influential underground hip hop artists of all time. So for that alone and everything else encompassing, as well as literally having not the first time someone's like went on a radio show and like put their freestyle onto an album, but just the way he went about it, especially with like the DJ introducing them, very mad villainy in nature. If you listen to it, it's a 9 out of.
Hell yeah. Jay-Z also did that. I mean, like
Fair enough.
that's crazy to think that there's that much foundation with ASAP Rock, and then he's right on the back of the Eminem album, like or the Eminem EP, the Slim Shady EP.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I think I'm actually gonna make this. I mean, this marriage between me and ASAP Rock is gonna happen. I mean,
it's got to.
so I think it might be the right album where I finally dive off in it because I'm very I like the story behind this, you know.
Oh yeah, and
And
especially like right when you start the album, you go into again what I feel like is my favorite song off the album, and if I really had to break it down, it's one of my top 5 favorite songs from it. So again, for the people that wasn't listening to that part, that is "Abandon All Hope" off of "Music for Earthworms" from Aesop Rock, 9 out of 10. As far as Trevor's concerned, we're going to Harley's third and final album.
wait, hold on, what skip? Skip?
Oh, that's right. Harley is also known as Kenny.
You piece of shit. I mean, all right.
Sorry, I'm not used to having we're not used to having a special guest on here, even though we've had you twice. I'm sorry.
My third time.
God damn it, you bastard! You killed Kenny.
Man, Kenny alive.
God
All
damn,
right, so
Lady Kenny can't even fucking survive out here, bro. What the fuck?
I don't know who you're talking about, Harley. I don't know you're talking to me. Man, all right, bro. So, so we're gonna stay in New York with the cool kids in New York of '98. The cool kids of '98. Yeah, give me a backdrop. It's like freaking like Robert De Niro just walks out. The cool kids.
The cool kids.
Y'all
You
are
ever been a
cool.
cool
We have
kid?
DMX.
No, you never been a cool kid.
Nah, man. DMX, pretty cool kid, but he kind of was just a wild type kid. But we're gonna have "Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood" by DMX as my second album of the year, and it was also DMX's second album of the year. And I mean, we'll get to the. I want to talk about the album itself before I get to the significance of what he pulled off. In a year where he's got heavyweights like Jay-Z and ASAP Rocky and ASAP Yams and all of them. ASAP Rock
Correct.
and Plain Pat. DMX ran '98 as far as rap. As far as mainstream rap, just worldwide, he broke out of the gate in a way that people think 50 Cent broke out the gate. Like he was like the first 50 Cent, and he loves dogs and God. He can't miss nothing. I mean, DMX is just he's one of those people, and I definitely didn't appreciate him until he passed all the way. I didn't do a deep dive through his music, but these albums, I listened to both of them today. I had to sacrifice and not play that full Hard Knock Life Volume 2. I'm gonna come clean. But these DMX albums, man, they are tough. And I put these two. I put this one. This is the second best album he's ever made, and I put it up against any of Jay-Z's albums. I put it up against any of Nas's albums because people don't really ever look at DMX for storytelling, but you're about to find out some shit. DMX is about that storytelling life. So, anyways, let's get into this. First song on the album is My Redacted. Plural form. And Swizz Beatz produced it. Swizz Beatz is on, let's see, is producing over about 3/4 of this album, which is that's pinnacle DMX. DMX Swizz Beatz together. You know that's the type of DMX that made the world go crazy. So that title track, man, like I was honestly, it said intro on it, and I was like, all right, it might be a skit or something because I hadn't heard the album in a while. That just banging for 100 for 127 for a minute 27 seconds, bro. I mean, what did Trevor say about the System of the Down joint, bro? It feels like a lot longer. It feels like you got up in there and you're ready for war. You know.
Yeah.
So second song, Bring Your Whole Crew, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We just keep that energy, and we just go get our people. And it's just I don't really have any quotable bars from it that I can think of. It's just a very live song. Like it's live in like the same way that 3 6 Mafia is live, but for people
Oh
in New
yeah.
York. I think that it's like I mean, if we all just got into a big ass fight and the music was playing in the background, it all kind of sounds the same. Anyways, I'm gonna get kicked out of Memphis by the end of this one. Shouts out to Project Pat. We love you, Project Pat. All right.
What's that?
The third one is a skit, and like I'm not gonna. I was pressed for time, and I was on a bike ride, so I didn't listen to the skit. I ain't even gonna hold you. Ain't no way. I don't really have anything to take from it. It's okay. It's just kind of like it's filler. I feel like not filler, but this was his second album of the year, and I do feel like some of the tracks that, although this is a great album, I feel like some of them were put on to give it that length so that he could do the second album. It was released very late in 20. It was released very late in 1998, so that is something I kind of noticed while I'm listening through. And then we got track number 5, man. We Don't Give a Fuck, featuring Jadakiss and Styles P, which, if you know your shit, that's 2/3 of the Locks. If you really know your shit, the Locks was they were originally a bad boy group. They're still a fantastic rap group. I think they're about to make their last album now, if that isn't already released.
Fuck
But
yeah.
DMX was instrumental in making them. They signed a Bad Boy first, I believe, or they were with Bad Boy. Something happened with Bad Boy. They were with Bad Boy first, naturally. But DMX brought them there. DMX discovered them. So that means DMX discovered Styles P, Jadakiss, and Sheik Louch, which are
Okay.
three of the most
Uh,
underrated MCs in like the history of rap or hip, especially New York rap.
and not to interject or anything like that, but just shout out Jadakiss for being one of the few rappers I can actively think of that's never had a bad verse. Like,
He's so reliable, and he's not just like you have those reliable people that are just reliable. Like you can always count on 50 Cent to give you a decent verse. Jadakiss,
yeah.
bro, he'll always do something good. Every now and then, that man will do some bazinga,
Hmm.
and it almost I hate to use this comparison, but for people that want to have a modern comparison, it's like Rick Ross just has those features that are just like, damn, Rick Ross, was that Rick Ross?
It's like, damn, that was Rick Ross. Like,
Yeah, like, bro, who is that? Jadakiss? Okay, that makes sense. But
yeah.
yeah, dude. So that's the first ever instance of I think I might be no, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the first ever instance of them all collaborating and working together. And if you fast forward to DMX's last album, the title track or the opening track of it kind of closes it out, and it's kind of a RIP. If you didn't know, DMX has passed away. And the Locks were very instrumental in sending him off. I'll get into that at the end of all this, but yeah.
Yeah.
So We Don't Give a Fuck. Track 5, the beginning of 20 years of greatness and dogs and God and drugs, just fucking rapping and drugs and God and dogs.
Correct.
and kids, children, childbirth, love. So that's going to send us right into 6. Keep Your Shit the Hardest, produced by Swizz Beatz. And it's more just, more live music. It's more like, this is like in the streets. This dropped, I think the second week of December. Well, no, this dropped December 2nd, 1998. So this dropped the week that Christmas Eve happened. This shit was like, bro. And man, the streets was out. So one of my favorites from the album is, and this does have DMX's best song on it. Also, it might be debatably, but I don't think it's debatably. I think it's his best song. But we're not at that one yet. First one, "The Omen," featuring Marilyn Manson. That's right, Marilyn Manson in this bitch, and it's a continuation of DMX's Damien series, which I know DMX is credited as a storyteller now, but I always remember DMX as just like a really live, not like a little John type rapper, but coming from the South and having to go backwards. I was like, oh, he's like it's the same type of energy, it's the same type of energy,
Yeah.
So, but Lil Jon ain't making no story. Damien's like a 6-7 part series, 6-7 part series, I think, officially, and The Omens, and it's about DMX. Although he's a very spiritual man, not even a spiritual man, he's a very religious man, very devout Christian. He did never shy away from his curiosities and his plunges into the darker side of it, which I really respect as a writer, because a lot of your people who are very religious, not all of them, but a lot of them, they just kind of focus on one side of it, and they kind of, when they do talk about the other side of it, they don't ever put themselves in it. And then you can always draw the correlations between this and the music industry. That's always there. And we got Marilyn Manson in that joint. I don't know if we like Marilyn Manson or not, so I'm just gonna give it a solid meh. We're gonna move on, because the next track, man, and this is the kicker. This album was almost number one just because of this track. It's the most well known. Not "Who Let the Dogs Out" is DMX's most well known track, but the right answer is "Slippin'." You know, I remember when we found out DMX passed away, everybody played "Slippin'" for like 2 hours straight, and like, it rocked for like an hour, because thinking about the way that DMX ended up passing, it's haunting. It's very true. It's very, back before everybody was making songs about being on drugs and getting off drugs and stuff. Back before it was generic, you had this,
Yeah.
and it's something that "Who Let the Dogs Out" is timeless. I ain't even gonna hold you. "Who Let the Dogs Out." I remember screaming that shit when I was a kid, But you talk
Right.
about the other side of freaking "Who Let the Dogs Out." Like, once "Who Let the Dogs Out" is when you're peeking off of everything. This is like when you're like out of everything and sleeping. You're sleeping. The dogs is gone, and you're sleeping. In the doghouse with no roof type shit. And I think my favorite part, they have this version that he re-recorded. He re-recorded this album at a certain point, because there was. I'm not gonna. I'd have to do a whole DMX deep dive episode, which I may do at some point when I start my podcast up. We got to figure out if fish are lactose intolerant. That's the only thing holding us up. Shameful podcast plug.
It's all good.
But this song is just. It's always going to be played. Like DMX, as long as you were able to play music, as long as the grid's up somewhat, and I'm sure it'll be on the preservation tapes. This song is going to keep DMX on, like, name going on for an indeterminate amount of time. Which I think is just excellent. It's really deserving, and it's very good about. It's a very good take on his struggles. He wasn't ever. He didn't ever hide. Like, he was always, DMX. Everybody probably thinks of the jump where he came up to the Breakfast Club, and he might have been a little intoxicated, and he started talking shit about Drake when nobody was supposed to talk shit about Drake. Like, that was the industry rule, And he's like, I don't really like Drake, like, I don't really know him. Talking about Kendrick, I like DMX. It's just he was him all the way through. He wasn't trying to. He probably didn't mean to be a rapper, but he's a rapper. So "No Love for Me." You got Drag On and Swizz Beatz on this. Swizz Beatz made the beat. It's good. Dogs for Life, I like. It's these hooks. DMX, man, he makes some hooks that are just like, I'm trying to think of somebody that made hooks that were that good at that time that I could, compare him to. 3 6 Mafia is really coming to, my mind, or maybe you got the West Coast folks. You got like G Funk, fucking for different reasons that make fantastic hooks. You got maybe uh Cypress Hill if you want to get like more in that sonic, that realm. But I don't think anybody can do it better than DMX as far as writing hooks.
It's
He's
hard to
got
beat.
just
I
some of the
mean,
best.
even as overplayed as this song is, fucking stop, drop, open, shut them down, open up shop, fucking catchy.
It's the first song I played earlier, bro, and I immediately was like, I gotta take a bike ride. I can't just be in the house where this is playing. I gotta get live.
Right?
Like for real, bro. So coming into the closing part of the album, the only thing that kept Jay-Z's album from getting number 2. I mean, you'll have your year, Jay-Z. I got you. Don't even worry about it. You're gonna be number 2 one day. Um, R.I.P. Biggie.
That's right.
We got Blackout featuring the Locks, all 3 of them. And speak of the devil, man, it's Jay-Z. Well,
Hell
buddy.
yeah.
So yeah, man, this is 4 just very, very like top tier lyricists. Just wait on 4, 3. No, this is 5 top tier lyricists, all in either their prime basically. Because DMX, his prime was his beginning. Um,
Yeah, no
Jay-Z's
doubt.
entering his prime, and then the Locks, man. The Locks prime kind of happened at the freaking Dipset verses, but this is what made them get to the Dipset verses. So we got to. This is their prime by extension. Um, and it's just a 5 minute lyrical New York content, gritty, just cut, dude, by some real ones, by some. I mean, I don't make the top 5 the top 10 or top 50 rappers from New York list, but if I did, I might have all 5 of these folks in the top 10. Maybe. Definitely the top 20.
Yeah.
So that's gigantic collaboration, and shout out to. I think that probably happened because of the tour, and I'm going to talk about this song real quick, and then we can go ahead and I want to talk about one more thing. Ooh, damn! I got to talk about 2 more. I didn't make it to that one. All right, so "Flesh in My Flesh, Blood in My Blood" is the most live song on the album, and it's the DMX had infectious choruses before, like up to that point, his 1 year officially rapping, he'd had some pretty infectious choruses, but stop, drop, can't go wrong with that. But that "flesh in my flesh, blood of my blood, all of my poop, get down like what?" Like this shit just builds, and I can hear 50 Cent in it. I can just hear so many rappers' origins in it, and that's a really cool. I like it. It's one of my favorite, and the uh it's just a banger, bro. This whole album is just a banger. It's definitely a good. This shit went off. You know that New Year's Eve 1998 was wild, man. DMX is fucking, bro. You had 2 DMX albums to drop. Like, you got a new DMX 8 days ago. That shit's all got bangers on it. You got Switzerland beats. Like, man, bro, come on now. Can't go wrong with that. Then he closes it out with Prayer 2, which is slash Ready to Meet Him, which is a 7 minute and 24-second song. And I don't know what our time's looking like, but I would like to pull up some lyrics from it real quick. I'm just gonna pick some quotables because I know that DMX closes out a lot of his albums, not all of his albums, with a prayer, and this is one of the more. Uh, this is one of the longest ones I've ever seen. Looking at the track listing just by itself, so I want to just. It says "Ready to Meet Him" too, so it's at the end of a legendary run. So so what's impactful about these albums is that this, along with the album that I'm not going to discuss next, they both went number 1 this year, and he is the only rapper to have ever done that. He has 2 albums that went number 1 without streaming, without freaking bots, without streaming farms, without he just had dogs and drugs and freaking locks, and God. Maybe not even drugs like that. We'll leave the drugs out of it. We can't leave the drugs out of it. It's a big part of the song, the album. And he did that, and nobody else has done that. Eminem, Outkast, name any. Nobody else has ever done it, and I think that's just man, that's amazing. So I just want to read a quick. I don't. I'm not very religious myself, but I do respect DMX's commitment to religion. I'm just gonna read this part. I thank you, Lord, for a dream that came true to light, and I ask you to bless everybody in this room tonight. I don't always do the right thing, and I ask you to forgive me because I need you here with me. Without you, my life, it's empty. I think back how some people did me like violence was a remedy, but I think of that now. I pray for my enemy, not because of what I do, but because of what they don't know. There's something better after here, but everybody won't go. I ask you to forgive them, and we'll all hope they see. And I thank you for the love that you've given to me. So that really like speaks to DMX's character and more than anything that I can say. So I'm gonna give this a 8. Just because I'm a critic at heart, and his best is coming. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 8 and pass it off. That's Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood by Jay-Z, by
God
DMX.
God.
Shut up, Project Pat. All right, world domination was. All right, bro.
The multiverse just cracked open, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
So with that
I
being
just, bro. All
said,
right,
we're gonna do
dog.
an
I got
intermission.
so close, man. I got so close to having a great DMX review, and then just that's the Illuminati, bro. Jay-Z getting mad at me, like.
No, it's all good. I will say we are about an hour and 41 minutes into it. Y'all want to go ahead and take a little intermission real quick as we go back into these last three?
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah,
I gotta.
let me play us a song out for the people, and then we'll you know, then we'll
Go
go
from there.
into. Hold up, I'm gonna get it where it gets good. Good enough.
I love it, then I hate it, then I love it, then repeat. Building bridges over trenches, give them something to believe. Y'all been resting for a while, I'm about to wake you out
About
your sleep.
98.
Grinding
Oh
so
yeah.
hard, like I don't wanna wake up. 1-800 selling dope to get their cake up. They got it twisted, thinking I would ever change up. People hating, but they never ever changed us.